Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you all, wherever you may be at the moment. My name is Lady Mary Boadu. I am your host for the chat room, and tonight we are excited to come your way, as always, with an informative, educative, and interactive discussion right here in the chat room. We are live on Facebook, YouTube. Facebook is by Lady Mary Boadu. Instagram is Lady Mary Boadu, and then YouTube right now is Gold Legacy Empire. Tonight, I have my amazing guest. He is doing some amazing things over on TikTok, and I'm glad to have him. And I have my co host, Nanaya Sapon, who is also going to be driving the seat tonight. And so we are excited to come your way. Whilst I bring them on, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and then we can keep the ball rolling. So Mensa, ladies first. Nana, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Mensa, yes. Mensa, you can hear
Okay,
us, right?
awesome.
Okay, he can hear us.
Yes,
Good.
I can hear.
Perfect. Nana, yeah, please introduce yourself and let's keep it going.
Good evening, or morning, afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Nanaya Sarpong. I am your current co-host of the chat room. I am a mother of three. I am a wife, an entrepreneur. I am a financial manager by profession, and I am excited to be here today. We have an exciting topic to discuss, so I hope it's beneficial and we all learn.
Thank you so much, Mensa. Please, can you tell me? Okay, you're gonna tell us, but I was gonna say, can you tell me the KJ because I've seen it, and but I'm not sure what it really. Go ahead.
Oh, it's Kwachi Joseph. Yeah,
Okay,
that is what it is. Yeah,
great.
so it's
Please,
Joseph
please go
Kwachi
ahead.
Mensa. So I just made it KJ Mensa in the simplest way. But as you already know, on TikTok it's Mensa. I think it's on my YouTube that I go by KJ Mensa. And to introduce myself, I go by either Joey or Mensa. Um, Husband and the father of three kids, business development specialist by profession, and what else can I add? Maybe life coach is what I can add because that's what I do for, like on the side. So yeah.
Can you tell us your handles real quick?
So on TikTok it's Mensa, but it's spelled M3NSA with like an apostrophe at the top. Um, I wanted to do that to make it different from all the other Mensas on the app. And then on YouTube it's KJ Mensa, just like I have it here on the live. Facebook, I don't think I have Facebook. So Instagram too is KJ Mensa. Yes. So on Instagram is KJ Mensa. YouTube is KJ Mensa. And then TikTok is Mensa with a three, like M3NSA apostrophe. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So we'll go right into it. Tonight, we wanted to um, look at the topic um, 30 and single, but it's all under relationship, right? The reason for this is that we feel that this is a topic that would be necessary, right, to talk about. And I'm muting you for 1 second. I want to see something. This is a topic that is important, anyways, for us to discuss. We look at the Nana and I had a conversation, and we're talking about being African or women. Sometimes you're 30, and you're single, and societal norms that comes with it, the challenges, the community, even our own family. Sometimes the pressure they give you and all that. So it's good to have you as the man among us, tonight. And so that is why we're having this conversation. But Nana, do you want Mensa to start or you want to start? Okay, Mensa. So single while you're 30, right? Does it benefit us? And we're not limiting it to just women, both the men and the women, right? Um, is there a limitation or a level of limitation that it plays on the women? Because I know that most times they say when men are 30, I don't think they get the pressure,
To
they
get
get
married?
then
The pressure
yeah,
to.
the ladies do. Yes. So please go ahead.
So I think it just depends on what your plan really is. For me personally, I would say, getting married early is better. But I think individually, people have their own plans, and how they want to move about in their life. I think the only thing that I would say that comes especially for women is, I know people say it all the time, especially people in specific groups that make it seem like it's a terrible thing just based on how they would say it. But if we are being honest, it's just biological that, women have a certain clock. And so that is something that I would say they should be conscious of, whenever they are thinking about, staying single or taking their time and all that stuff. Something to be aware of, that, hey, regardless of what your plans are, you still have this clock that you don't have control over. It's just how nature is. But other than that, I think it depends on, the plans people have and how they want to move about with their dating life and their whole life in general. Yeah, that is what I would say to that. But personally, I advise people to get married early. So,
Nana, do you want to add a twist to it? Maybe you have a question or a comment. Go ahead.
Um, I guess I want us to start and I guess try to find out why. What are some reasons why somebody may be at a certain age and either decide to stay single or whatever the situation may be that the person is maybe not by will is single. Like if we can go into some of the reasons why somebody that I would say is of age,
mhm.
Hmm.
is single.
Right. Before we do that, I've sent the links to you guys anyway, but please.
Yeah, I got it.
Um, whilst Mensa is preparing to come in, can I add my two to it, my 2 cent? I
Yeah,
feel
go ahead.
that, sometimes with our background, right, being, and I know this session is not just for Ghanaians, or Africans only, but one of the things that I've come across of that I've seen a lot is some women would choose not to get married or even get into a relationship based on their background. What I mean by their background is based on what they've witnessed their parents gone through. I've heard people say, I'm not going to get married because of an auntie, a mother, because of what they've witnessed. And sometimes you hear people actually um, calling men like they're saying all men are the same, all men are wicked, all women are this, all women are that. So I've seen a case where individuals would decide not to want to get married or even have a relationship. you know they want to be by themselves or do whatever it is that they would do to please themselves. And most of the times or sometimes I've heard people say, I don't want to do it because my mom went through this, my auntie went through this, my friend went through this. So I think I could, if I could say, I feel like fear from these angles sometimes can let people to say, I'm gonna stay single or I'm just gonna date and not get married. But Benson, go ahead.
I think that is a factor. People definitely, because of fear, decide to stay single. I think the other thing is people having real bad experiences, like their own experience they've had maybe in their 20s before they actually reach the 30s. They had bad experiences, so they don't want to get back into it, which ties back into fear. It's either they saw it secondhand experience and they fear that they will experience that, or they had a first-hand experience and they're like, I don't want to do this again. And I think there are some other people too that just enjoy the single life, because I think sometimes too the single life is fun. Not having anybody to account to or to care for
There's
is
no
fun.
pressure.
There is no pressure there, right? So some people just enjoy that and they feel like, yeah, I just want to enjoy this space as
Mm,
much as I can, and they decide to stay single. And I think sometimes they just don't look forward to what if I'm 50 or what if I'm 60. They are thinking about the now, they live in the moment instead of look at how life would be when they are older. So I think it's just different factors, and those three are like the top three that comes to mind as to reasons why people stay
mm.
single, around that time.
Nani,
Okay. Okay. I would say, um, of course, like all of you have said, there's different reasons. What I would add is, people have personal values, people have life goals. Um, they may have some things that they want to experience, like Mensa said, before marriage. Because when we look at getting married, it's a life time commitment. And in our culture, I feel that in a lot of cases, I wouldn't say majority, but in a lot of cases, we are rushed into getting married, right? We put that pressure, especially on females, we put that pressure on girls that, you've gone to school, you've graduated, you have a job, or even you may not have a job. The next thing for you is to be married. Okay. Meanwhile, you have not been allowed to date. Nobody has ever told you anything about how to prepare for a relationship, how to be a wife, how to be a husband, how to, because we don't teach those things in our culture. We don't teach those things, right? But then you are of age. So now you're supposed to go get married and you're supposed to make it work. You're supposed to figure it out. You know, marriage is the real on the job training, um, life skills. Like you're put in and you may not have any experience or anything to like reference because maybe the home that you're coming from, marriage is not really um it just like it's not really a partnership or it's not ideal. It just like, a husband and a wife, and you barely see them hug, you barely see them kiss, you barely see like they're there and they're existing, right? And raising children. But then you're supposed to go into this thing blindly, not knowing anything, right? But it's an expectation that we put on um ourselves or on our children, on our family members, and expect you to do well at with no training, right? So I think in our age, and it is a conversation, and I'm glad that we are having a conversation. It's an ongoing conversation in education that we need to provide to people to let them know, before you go into marriage, make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you're matured, right? Nobody asks those questions. Are you mature enough to be married? You're just put into it 20, even sometimes 18. Back home, little girls get married just so they can have babies. You know, some old man sitting somewhere may have some money and can help support this little girl. So then you're pushed on them to um, for them to marry you. Meanwhile, there's no background, there's no education, no insight. Like you just go in blindly, and that's why there's a rise in divorces, right? But we have to like be conscious of the fact that a lot of things go into this marriage thing, and you have to go in prepared. It's okay to have personal values that you want to accomplish before you're married. And we have to understand that, not everybody wants to be married right after school or right after getting a job just because you feel like there's nothing else for them. That's the next step. Is it right for it to be that way? It's like that's the next step that you have to do, regardless of whether you're ready or not. You have life goals. Go for your goals. Whatever value, whatever experiences you want to have is okay. I think we have to normalize those things, right? We have to normalize it to make it okay and not make marriage like a next step thing in life.
Mesa, go ahead.
So that the thing with marriage and personal goals and the experience is that one, marriage itself is growth. Like you cannot be 100% ready because you don't know what is there. Um, However, you can get the basics. You can have the basis of, okay, this is how you deal with people, that is how you relate with people that you are committed to and stuff like that. But the actual marriage itself is growth, and everybody else's is different. You will never know that. That's why we still don't have a blueprint of how marriage is supposed to be. Nobody knows. You get into it, you and your partner will encounter different problems. um it's just the basics that you're supposed to have. The thing with personal goals and getting into marriage is that, with me personally, what I always tell people is just check the pros and cons of whatever you want to do and if it fits with your timing and everything, right? So let's say for a guy, you say, hey, I'm out of college, I'm 25, I want to take my time and work on this goal that I have and get married when I'm like 37. At the age of 37, you now have to look at it and decide, okay, how many kids do I want to have if I do get married? And when I have these kids, am I still able in good fit shape to actually parent and be with my kids and be a father to the kids? You have to think about all that. If you focus on just the goal, even as a guy, you might end yourself up in a situation where you're like, I just want to finish, working on this project, finish building this business or whatever. Unless this business is very successful, I'm not getting into any marriage or getting into any situation. And then let's say this business ends up successful and you are 45. Meanwhile, you want to have 5 kids. You want 3 boys and 2 girls. How old would you be by the time you have the third child? Probably 50 something, right? So now you realize that the goal that you had was good, but if you check in long run with other plans that you have for your life, it won't fit. So you need to compromise somewhere within your own plan. Those are things you need to put on the table and figure it out. Like, okay, that is what I want to do. This is how it can end up at this time. If it ends up at 50 and you are okay with, okay, if goal ends up, getting to the point I want it and I'm 50, then I would change having 3 kids to 2 kids. I'm okay with that. That is you making these decisions
Right.
yourself. You have to figure that out. If you focus so much on one side, you might lose on the other side, which I think when it comes to the ladies' side, that is what the ladies miss most of the time. And I think um, sometimes I think the way other people would say it will make it look so harsh, especially for the women, instead of actually pointing out something like what I just did with the guys. Like, okay, you want to achieve this goal. Okay, you got it. You can. But at the same time, by the time you are done with achieving that goal, how old would you be? Let's just say you'll be like 35. Okay, not bad. How long is it going to take you if your plan is to get married, assuming the person wants to get married? We are excluding those that don't want to get married at all. We are thinking about those that want to get married. If by 35 you want to get married, how long is it going to take you to date to find somebody that you really want? And how long after that are you going to get married? So now you are looking at doing this in about 3 to 4 years. So you're hitting 39, 40-ish. How many kids do you plan to have? Which is a conversation you will have with your partner. How many kids? Does that fit into the plan? Because if you focus on one side, you will lose on the other side. So if let's say your plan is to have 4 kids, oh, I want just 2 beautiful baby girls and 1 boy. Let's say 3. 2 beautiful baby girls and 1 boy that will protect them. Cool. But the plan that you have, if you make these calculations and what you want to do, you will start having the kids at like 41, 42. Is that ideal? Is that going to give you problems? You need to think about all that before you decide, no, I'm going this route. And I think most of the time we don't look at the life as a whole and the plan we have in life. We look at one side that we really want the most. Obviously, one will be better than the other. Obviously, somebody wants goals and plans more than they want the marriage. Not saying they don't want the marriage. They do want the marriage, but they want the goals and plans more. So naturally, you might focus on that a lot more and you will forget about this because you think you can always come back to it. And before you realize, you put yourself in a deep hole that now you are struggling with. You got married, but now having the kids is becoming a problem, right? So you need to think about all that. Somebody also say, I want the marriage more, so I'm more focused on the marriage. But then because of that, you focus so much on the marriage and started having kids that you wanted 4 or 5 kids with your husband, and you jumped into it, and then now you forgot the career path that you wanted to go. Because now the kids that you kept on having is blocking you to understand. So you have to weigh, how am I going to balance this out? How am I going to do it in a way that I'm able to achieve 2 things at a time? Because you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You don't have to walk and chew the gum later, and you don't have to chew the gum and walk later. You can do both at a time. It's just knowing how to strategically do it and plan it to make it work. And that is what I always advise people. Like, look at your life, where you want to go, what you want for your life, and then make plans according to it. Don't pick one side and make a plan because it won't work. It will fail you in the long run.
I like that. You can walk and chew your gum at the same time. If you're not if you're not careful. Well, you cannot run and chew gum. You can walk certainly and chew gum. Because if you try it, you might bite your tongue. But anyway, I like that. So Nania, do you want to come in? I just wanted to, with all these things being said, I'm also thinking on looking at the other angle of it. How about those that want to get married? Okay. And like Nanea said, people have, their goals and things that they want to achieve. But I also know people that maybe they've gone to school, they think that they're okay, and then family, these family hindrances. I mean, all of you, we know that there are certainly family hindrances when it comes to wanting to get married. Um, like, let's take Africans for example. This tribe issue. Someone would tell you're ready to get married, and they'll tell you, don't marry from this tribe, don't marry from here. But somebody have a comment here on WhatsApp. They're saying that what would they advise? Do they think that if your father or your parents do not agree to the man that you want to bring home based on tribe, do they suggest, like everybody else is doing, that you should just always wait till you get your parents' blessings? So that's a question that you guys can answer. But as I was saying, I think that people have their goals, but then the family factor, their parents, that the frustration, and that's, I wish we can also look at that, because families will frustrate you. If you're 30, by the time you're 25, they start asking, whom are you, are you talking to anybody? Are you dating anybody? I'm not saying that in itself is wrong, though. That the fact that they want to know, it's okay. But there's always a sense of pressure. Everybody wants to be in your business. Everybody wants to know. And then they even go as far as telling other aunties and uncles to talk to you. And I've witnessed a case whereby the young lady was having a conversation with a lady, women's fellowship leader, and she said, the guys are just not coming. I'm not seeing them. And somebody said, well, there are men in the church. She said, which church? No, I mean, in her church, she's not seeing them. So at that point, is it a fault of ours? Because, people have their preferences as well. And that's one thing I want us to look at too. The preferences, are they really necessary? Because some of the preferences and some of the desires, I think that they would have to go recreate these men for them to come back to marry to them. But anyways, if we want to answer that question before we move on to it, that would be fine. She said, should she follow, like everybody's saying? The parents don't like this guy, but this is whom she wants to be with. She has to wait. Okay, she says she's 36 now, and she's dated the guy for 4 years. But I'm sorry, I'm reading. The family don't accept the guy. So should she wait like everybody else is saying? Wait till your father and your mother give you their blessing. Mensa, come in. Since you are the man among us.
So, well, there's more to it. I don't think it can be a yes or no answer. I think one, you need to know what exactly the father sees. Is it because of the tribe and that is the only reason, or the father sees something beyond that? Because most of the time, a father will see a guy and say something that you haven't seen yet, and they will tell you, no, I don't think this person is good because I see this happening based on the kind of person he is. So I would say find out from the father first what exactly their reason is. If it isn't anything serious about that and it's just about a tribe, you've been with the person for years, you know this person, you are supposed to do your own vetting too. So for 4 years, you should know if this is a good person for you or not. And I think sometimes parents find it hard to let their kids go and let their kids be their own human beings and make their own mistakes. So if there isn't any solid reason why they don't want you to, I would say try to convince them why you think they should just let you go. I wouldn't say just ignore them and do it, because in life I think a parent's blessing is good, and honoring your parents is a command that I think we should hold on to. So if they don't have a legit reason why they don't want you to, other than, oh, from this tribe I don't want you to, just because they're from the tribe, then I would say, find your bullet points to convince them why this person is from the tribe but different. Because there is an exception to everything, right? There is an exception to everything. So it doesn't matter what you think of the tribe. You can have bullet points to convince your parents why this person is different from what they think of the group. That stereotype they have. This person, you give them that reason, and eventually they will understand. I think usually parents just want the best for their kids, and that is why sometimes parents do that. They find it hard to let their kids go and be their own adults and make their own mistakes and things like that, which is also a point you can add to it when you are trying to convince your parents, like, hey, you've raised me the best way you can, and at this point I'm an adult to also go into life, make my own mistakes and learn from it. So that can also be another point to add to all these points you want to talk to them about as your reason to convince them. But I would say try to convince them to agree to it instead of just ignore them and do your thing. Like, I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always a bit sketchy when it comes to those things. And yeah, do you want to come in? And I have a comment here on WhatsApp. If you want to send in, yes, you can send a message to WhatsApp, and I'm gonna ping the number down. You can send a message to WhatsApp if you don't want to leave it under the live. That's perfectly fine. There's a comment here. It says that my boyfriend is still single. Wait, what? What's going? My boyfriend is still single because of his attitude. He wants to eat his cake and have it. Do you mean he's still not married, or he's still single? How can he be your boyfriend and he's still single? Or have you
She's
left?
cheating.
Have
She's
you left?
cheating.
You've left him already without him knowing? Okay, I'll read her comment. I'm sorry. My boyfriend is still single because he refused to change his attitude. At the age of 32, he still wants to eat his cake and have it. Um, oh, and yeah.
You don't understand what she's saying. It's
No, I
okay.
get it. I get it. I'm saying it's sad. Like it's. Yeah.
I think she's probably like, it's either he's immature or he's
Yeah.
cheating. He's still behaving like he's single.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what. But going back to her question, like Manson said, you've been with this person for 4 years. Okay. If what your parents are saying that this person may not be the person for you, if that's true, you know it, you know it, and you may be in denial because you've invested 4 years and you feel like, I've put in all this work, I don't want to let it go. Or you may feel like nobody else is coming and this is the person that's here, you know. But you cannot, whatever it is that you're trying to overlook, whatever it is you're trying to overlook, it will come back later on to bite you in a relationship. And you will say, I wish I had listened. Okay. But then also, they say hindsight is 2020, but sometimes it's not. When you are with the person, you have the close-up experience, right? Your parents may be in a different town or whatever. Like they are not spending as much time with this person as you are. So you know if the person is good, you know if the person is bad, right? So it's either they are just being traditional, I would say, and saying, since this person is from a different tribe, you shouldn't be with them. We don't care. And sometimes it is. We don't care how he is. He may be good. He may be whatever. We don't care. We just don't like you to marry outside of our tribe. If that's the case, and you feel like this person is genuinely a good person, he's going to be a good husband and, be a good father and all that, like he's everything that you want, and you're not in denial about maybe they're misbehaving or whatever, right? If this is a really good person, this is me. Choose what you want to do. But if I have somebody good and I know that this person is good, right? And other people on the side, including parents, are saying you shouldn't be with them because of where they're from. That's a no-brainer. You
But
can let them go,
yeah.
or you can marry them and see what can happen. Yes, it's good to have your parents' blessing, but sometimes they can be unreasonable.
Hmm.
You have to reason with them. Try and reason with them. Let them know, let them get to know this person, not just bring them and take them. Let the person be around and for them to know this person for themselves, right? And if they see that this person is good and still they are standing on the fact that you are from different tribes, if that's the only reason, then at 34, she says she's 34, right?
36.
36.
36.
36, I
At
think.
36, madam, you're matured enough to make your own decisions. You don't have to keep going back to your parents to ask. Yeah, their blessing is good, but if this person is a really good person and at 36, you can make your own decisions.
Um, Thank you, Nana. I think that with all these things being said, every human being on earth, at least that's what I believe, should have like a figure whom they respect or they revere, you know. And I'm
Side of
sure,
the family.
yes, outside of the family, exactly. And I'm sure parents have that too. In Ghana they'll say, "Oh, fairy for," so someone that they revere. Definitely, this. I mean, everybody have one. So maybe we can also, and I say we to say the young ladies comment, also go that route where you can bring in that person, to where they can not necessarily convince them, but like Mensa said, lay down, your reasons, speak to them, and have this person speak to your parents. But then again, I don't know what job you do, and I'm sorry to say this, but I've seen parents whom their children are maybe like doctors, engineers, these IT personnel, and they think that they are making so much money and they are afraid to let that child go because they will not be getting those monthly, you know, yeah, that money is not going, he's going to use the money to take care of the wife and the family. There are people like that, and seriously.
Wow.
True, yeah. Okay, yeah, they don't want to lose that benefit. But I think that if you've trained your child enough, if you have that relationship with your child enough, no child would just want to get up, leave, and forget about the family. Once in a while you're gonna get you a few dollars that you're looking for, but I don't think that should be a reason. And I'm not saying that's your parents' reason, but I've seen people gone through that because they don't, I've taken care of my child. My doctor is a nurse, a doctor. They feel like they brought you up in that way, so they have to benefit. And sometimes when it's time to get married, they don't want to, you know, allow that to happen. But then, like everybody's saying, you're 36, you can make decisions for yourself. Yes, but then Nana, I don't know where she's located. And I don't know if I should say this because I was going to say that in America, people go to the courts. I mean, I'll take the man to the court and get married. I don't think that's advisable, but I feel like there's somebody somewhere that your parents might revere, and then definitely you can speak to them for them to speak to your parents for you. I mean, dating somebody for 4 years, yes, I think, especially if you guys love yourself. And then, I don't know if you're listening with your guy, but there was a situation whereby a mother refused to allow her daughter to marry this guy because the woman was saying that the guy is a stranger, and of course you're a stranger because you're not married to her yet, right? But he goes into their home, and this guy is opening up the refrigerators, like, I mean, dude, you're not married to the girl, you're just dating,
He
why?
feels at home. He feels at home.
Oh, but Mensa, what do you say to that? I mean, this guy is opening up refrigerators in his girlfriend's parents' home, and I guess the woman is uncomfortable thinking like he like manners. I mean, it's not normal to just. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it's normal to just go into your girlfriend's house and you start opening refrigerators. Again, it could be that the guy probably think they love him so much. I don't know. But the woman did not like the idea. She felt that it wasn't right because this guy literally he would dish food for himself. And this is America here, Nana. And so I guess the mom didn't it didn't sit well with her anyway. But I don't know if the guy is like that, but I was gonna say that maybe he might want to watch how he relates to them too, Nana. Because sometimes people can get that wrong vibe. It can rub off wrong. But Mesa, please come in.
I don't know. I don't think that is normal. I don't think it's normal at all to go to be in laws' house and just start opening fridges and doing stuff like you
That's
live there.
childish.
Um, yeah, no, I don't think that's normal. To some extent, it can come off as disrespect to just come to an elderly person's home and start opening stuff. You don't even know what is in the fridge, like, and you've not been given that permission to. So how do you get that mind to just come into somebody's home and just start doing your own thing? Like, it's not your mom's house.
Exactly. He
Yeah,
might probably feel maybe overly comfortable. I don't know, but I think he needs to take a
yeah.
break.
I don't think it's a good idea.
And yeah.
Oh, on that same about the refrigerator.
No, we're done. I mean, if you want to
Oh,
add to it,
okay.
I
No,
just
it's okay. It was just funny to me. I'm like, that's petty that you don't want your daughter to marry this person because they open your. I understand. You feel like they're violating your privacy or whatever, but but that's petty though. You say you can't marry him. He opened my refrigerator. That's
no, but,
hilarious.
but, but to Mensa's point though, you don't know what is in the refrigerator, right?
You
So
don't.
like
I mean,
you
hey, I
don't.
mean,
So
I don't want strangers coming to my home and opening my refrigerators either. But I have people that are comfortable enough when they come, they can go anywhere.
right,
Either
but but
way.
then, but then if this is a woman that you're really, trying to make your wife, I think
Yeah.
that the family's perspective sometimes count to an extent, and so you might want to be
Ooh.
cautious. And I think that if you might be rubbing off, or you might be coming off in a very wrong way. So maybe that's something that you yourself should probably. I'm talking about the lady with the comment. Maybe that's something that you should probably also observe because
Hmm.
there are certain things that he might be doing, and because you're the girlfriend, it's totally fine with you. But you might want to caution him, And if maybe speak to your parents and see, is there anything that he's doing, what is it? Is he doing something that is wrong? But then again, I think that you might want to do your own observations and then try to caution him in certain areas. Mesa, there's a question here. It says that 30 and single, interesting conversation. Can you guys really touch on the pressure that we women go through? I've dated three men, and the relationship didn't work, and it's not any fault of mine. They were just not the right fit for me. I live in a neighborhood where a man recently came to ask for my hands in marriage, and apparently people were bad mouthing me about bringing in different types of men. Can you guys talk about that? Because the disrespectfulness and how people tag you as being a bad woman is actually getting out of hand. She says she's from Congo. Um, Anybody can jump in, please.
Um, that's a good question, because and I wish that hopefully we get someone that's actually going through the situation, to be able to give us like life experiences on, why, first of all, they feel that they are single, and what are some of the struggles that they get from outside influences. Because, it's not just family, just random people will feel that they have the right to speak on your life and in your relationship, not knowing the things that you're going through. There are people who want to get married, you know, but the end of the story is, and I will use women as an example, okay, there are ladies that want to get married, but in our culture, women do not pursue men, right? Men marry women, right? So that means that as a woman, you have to basically wait to get the right man to come and to ask for your hand in marriage, right? But then does that mean that every single man that come you should accept, or every single man that come will be a viable option? No. There are men who, just because you are a man does not mean that I'm 30, I have to marry you
Yeah.
because you are interested in me. Sometimes it seems like the women don't have an option, like they don't have a say.
Oh, yeah.
Where if you keep declining because these men are coming and they're not somebody that you see yourself with, and it's not even just physical, right? Sometimes it just somebody it's just people that you feel like you cannot really have the life that you're looking for, the life that you want to pursue after you get to know that person. This person is not going to be a good partner for you, right? So one person come, you say no. One person, another person come, you say no. Another person come, you say no. And at that point, you're considered as difficult, and you're considered as, you're too known, or, you don't want anybody. You feel like you're better than everybody. But, these people that you're presenting to me, right? Really, truly, if you were in my position, would you marry them?
Hmm.
You know, would you, like, if I am at a certain point, it doesn't mean that I should just take anyone that comes, because I am 30, I am 35, I am 38, so at this point I should just take whatever I get, because my clock is ticking or whatever the case. But the options, and that's what I'm seeing. I won't say that's what people are telling me, that's what I'm seeing. The options are very light when it comes to like biofuel. Excuse me to say, but like I'm like, what have y'all been doing? All this time, all these women were like, leveling up and doing what they're supposed to do to get to, the level where they are that type of women that you can see, you can take in public and be proud of and all that. What were you doing? Watching TV and just waiting?
Hmm.
Because it's like some of these men out there have done nothing with their lives. And they are at some point that now their family just want them to be married. And whose daughter are you going to put them on?
And there's some, I think there's some women too, though, Nana, that are
Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah.
Believe me, I'm just speaking from the women's aspect right now. But I know that there are some women that whose parents are just pushing them on these good men, thinking that they're going to take care of them and be their responsibility, because they're tired of taking care of them.
They're tired.
Right? So now they want to push them on to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, I don't want that for my children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that for my girl. I don't want my girl to marry a useless man just because she's 40 and, we feel like she needs to be married. She's not marrying a useless man. Neither are my boys marrying a useless woman. So make sure that you're preparing yourself. If you see yourself as someone who is going to be married, make sure that you are the person that you want to marry. Like if you want to marry a polished person, polish yourself,
Nanaya,
right?
hold your thought for a minute. Man, so somebody said, okay, is she trying to say that um these cannot be done whilst you're married? I guess to what Nanaya is saying, somebody's comment is that can they not polish themselves once they've met the person and they're in the
Prepare
marriage?
yourself
Then
before you go into it. Prepare yourself.
so
Don't
what do
go
you
and be
think?
a burden for anybody. Prepare yourself.
I think so. One, nobody should pressure you into getting married.
Mm-hmm,
If you don't want it, you don't want it.
mm-hmm,
The thing with that though is you need to take a little bit of accountability for yourself too.
mm-hmm,
So if you keep getting the exact same type of man, the reason why sometimes people look at you and say, maybe the problem is you, is because if you keep meeting the exact same man over and over and you keep saying no to them, now I'm questioning you. Where have you been going? Because if you need a specific type of man, you need to put yourself in a position to meet the specific type of man that you want. If you
Hmm.
keep going to the exact same place and making the
Hmm.
exact same moves and talking the exact same way, dressing the exact same way, you will keep meeting the exact same man that you will say no to.
Yeah.
So at some point, you need to start thinking that, okay, if I keep attracting these type of people that I have to say no to, what am I doing incorrect? Do I need to start going to different areas? Do I need to, play to a different angle? Was I always going to this, drinking bar or this church or this area to have fun? Maybe I need to move from there and start going to these areas, right?
Hmm.
But nobody
Hmm.
should pressure you though. You know what you want, you know what is good for your life, you know what you are looking for that you see yourself being compatible with, right? But at the same time, you take the accountability to make sure you don't meet the exact same people over and over again. It's the same reason why we say that if you keep saying that all your friends are terrible, everybody that came in your life that you had an issue with is terrible, at some point we're going to start questioning, are you sure you are not terrible? Why do you keep meeting the exact same people? You need to move to a different area in your life that you can attract the type of people you want. That's what I would say. But I don't think anybody should pressure you into getting married at all. Don't listen to society and don't let society pressure you into it.
But the pressure is there though. So my question is, okay, so you are of a certain age and now everybody feels like you want to get married, okay? You want to, you've got everything that you feel like, you've accomplished whatever it is that you wanted to accomplish. Now that's what you're looking for, right? And the right people are not coming. So you position yourself like Mensa is saying, right? But sometimes it's people that are introducing these people, okay? And they feel like you're being picky. You're being picky.
I don't
So,
I don't think so. I think no matter what you are looking for in life, it's a bunch of us in this world.
mm-hmm,
No matter what you are looking for, there were a lot more people there. If they
Mhm.
weren't, you probably wouldn't have that image in your mind to begin
Right.
with. There is nobody sitting down thinking, I want to pet a lion tiger, which is an animal that is a lion and a tiger at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist. Whatever image you have in your head is because you've seen one before, or you've
Yeah.
heard that and you can see it somewhere. So whatever image it is, there is somebody like that, and it's a bunch of them. If they
Mm,
are not coming, I think you are in the wrong spot.
mm.
If you want to get water from the rain, you might have to put your barrel under that, you
Outside.
know,
Yeah.
that pipe that we used to put in the olden days in front
Mm-hmm.
of houses to
The
get
spot.
what you want, right? Like you need to put it at the exact spot to get what you want. If you keep meeting the same people over and over,
Yeah.
I think you need to relocate and not relocate in
Yeah,
person,
line.
move, but
Yeah.
change your ways, change the kind of
Expand.
people
Yeah,
you
line.
Go
meet,
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
go places,
Explore. Put yourself out there.
explore a little bit. You cannot keep doing the exact same thing and expect different results. It will not happen.
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
truth is, most of the time, men they know who they want to marry very quick,
Mm.
and they know who they just
That's true.
playing with.
That's true.
Men know really quick. If they're
Mhm.
keeping you for the long run, they know. And so you made the example that because in our culture or in the African culture, it's not the ladies that go for the marriage, but the men that do.
Uh-huh.
What I would say to that is if you've been with somebody for a long time, it's never crossed his mind. He's never mentioned it once. When he speaks with you and talks about his future plans, you are not in it.
That part. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want you.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if he doesn't talk to you about his future plans at all, he probably doesn't want you. More than likely, he doesn't want you. Because men know sooner. If they're
Yeah.
going to keep you for a long time, if they plan to marry you, they know. They know. And it will circle all the way back again to where have you been going?
Mhm.
If where you've been going is not working, quit going there. If the friends always convince you that we need to go to this event here, that event there, and those are the only types of events you always go, maybe you need to stop and start going to the church events. If it is the
Mhm.
church event you've been going to, and the men that you are meeting are not the ones you want, maybe you need to start going to the VIP parties. You need to start moving differently from what you've been doing. If you keep doing the same thing, you will keep meeting the same people. Because
Yeah.
remember, the spot you're going has specific type of people that go there. I
Yeah.
promise you, you're not gonna see Jay Z
Yeah.
in the middle club.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly.
not.
He's not there. So if your image is to meet somebody like Jay Z, he's not in the ghetto club.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's not there. So the person that you are picturing, you need to figure it out.
Where they
Where this
are.
type of person
Mhm.
will go, where this type of person will mingle. That's where you need to be, not the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
place you've been going.
Yeah. Makes sense. I like that. Yeah.
That's very true.
Readjustment is necessary if you find that you're not getting the same people. But then I also want to say that sometimes when you date one, two, three, four people and the relationship doesn't work, and this goes to both men and women, it's not always the case that one person is bad or evil. When you're not compatible, or when the relationship, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work.
It's
Maybe
not.
the habit is not there, the interest is not there. Maybe you guys, your aspirations and things, interest, that's not even aligned. And so it's not always that this person is bad or evil, but let's say you're on a journey, you want to go south, right? And you meet someone who wants to go west. You can't go to south and west at the same time. It's not going to work. And so sometimes it's just not aligned, and that doesn't mean that just because they've dated one, two, three, it makes them bad.
Mhm.
Of course, genuinely, there are people who just want to date people just for what they can get. They abuse the system and things like that. Those people are there. But to what the lady was saying, um, it doesn't mean that if the relationship didn't work, she can't be married. And it's sad because we see that a lot in the African setting, where they people have seen you dated several people, or even one, and then somebody wants to come in and marry you, then they start bad mouthing you. Meanwhile, they don't personally know you, though they've seen you. And sometimes too, we conclude because there are some girls that have just genuinely have male friends. So they'll see these people coming to your house and they just assume that you're just dating all these people, just drawing conclusion without a reason. And so, Mesa, did you want to say something?
No.
Okay, they just draw conclusion. Oh, this girl, she's always bringing in different type of men. Meanwhile, truly, truly, if you go and check, she's not dating them. But that's the place we find ourselves. Unfortunately, yes. Please show up to
Yeah.
the parties. Go to the right places. Thank you for watching. Let's say that, please, if you just tune in, we're talking about relationships and specifically being 30 and then still single. To everyone that has tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in tonight with us. I have my guest. His name is Mensa, and his Mensa is spelled with the three and the three instead of an E. You can find him on his social media platforms. TikTok, actually, he's on TikTok a lot and does a lot of great things on there. I've personally been on one of some of his talks, so do well to follow him and check him out. And I have my co-host Nanaya Sapon with me. We just want to encourage you that if you just joined, do well to share the broadcast. I believe that is interesting. We're touching on some great topics tonight. Somebody have made a comment, and I believe that Nanaya, the comment is in response to what you said. He's saying that these are the same women who waste all their time going to school, claiming to better themselves to get education. And then by the time they get the PhDs, no man is coming their way because they feel like they are too big for these same men. And then they
Mhm.
end up complaining and disturbing people with, I'm single, or that no man is coming their way. I think that women sometimes needs to come down. Education is important, but it's not everything. If that's the case, then why don't these same women marry their certifications? Hey, Papa,
Great.
be patient. But
Did,
but
did, did a PhD person turn you down, sir?
I, but you see that too, though, Mensa. I don't know if you've come across that where sometimes women, they call them alpha women or whatever, and then there is like they're
Some
saying
call themselves that. I think
something.
most of the time, the more education you get, the more knowledge you get about pretty much everything, and that
What
would
you want
change
and
your
what you don't
standards.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, it would change your standards a little bit. It
Hmm.
will make you look for certain types of men that will be hard to find, especially at that time, or maybe even at that age. And another issue with that is sometimes too, uh, what women think they want in a man is what they think the man wants in women, and it's not. And so you might try to look the way that you will try to look like the type of men you want, but the type of men you want, they don't want the type of woman like them. I don't know if you get what I mean. So you
Hmm.
can get all these degrees and everything, and then you would say, I want a man that also has the degrees and business owners and all that stuff. The issue with that is the type of man that has the degrees and owns these businesses and stuff more than likely do not want the type of woman like you. That is where the problem comes in. More than likely also want the type of woman that will be home to take care of the kids,
Mm-hmm.
that he
Yeah.
can go out there and fight all the wars and do all the stuff and come back home, take a shower and just sleep on your lap. He will want something like that. Most of the time they don't want another partner that is also in going to work and doing all that, and then
Too
they all
busy.
come and be home and it's like, we're tired, we just take a shower, sleep and repeat. So that is where sometimes it becomes a problem for certain type of women to find the type of men they want, because what you want might not necessarily want you. So you might have to come back to the board again, like initially I was saying, come back to the board,
Readjust. Make some readjustment.
make some readjustment to it, like, hey, this is where I want to go, these are the things I want to achieve. When I achieve that, what type of men do I want? How easily is it going to be for me to find them?
Yeah.
How hard is it going to be for me to find them? Should I maybe find somebody now before I achieve this? You need to come back to the board somehow. If you
Mm-hmm.
keep going one way, like I initially said, and you go all the way to the degrees and get all the doctor's degree you can get, and then you say, because of all these, because I've seen people say, well, I have all these degrees and I make this amount of money, so I want a man that also makes
Mm-hmm. Equivalent.
Equivalent.
150K or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Now look at the world you are in and ask yourself, let's say you're from Ghana, and then you say, I want to marry a Ghanaian man. I have these degrees and I make 6 figures. So I want a man that makes 6 figures. And I want a man that is 6 foot tall. And I want a man that is dark skinned. Now look at the world that you're in and start checking your circle. How many Ghanaian men are around me?
Yeah.
How many of them make this figure? You come to realize that if you trickle it down all the way in your own neighborhood, there's probably none.
Especially not 6 foot.
Especially in that sense, you get what I mean? So if you don't come back to the board and make some adjustment, and then you stay in your head about what you want, you will keep staying in your head and not find nobody, because you are forgetting that you don't want nobody but a Ghanaian. You don't want nobody except he makes 6 figures. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
nobody except he's 6 foot tall. And probably at the time you are like 35.
And
So
they,
that
and
means you
they,
can't
they
date
must
anybody
they
in the
must
20s.
Spencer, they must have a 6 pack too. Or
They
10
must have a
pack.
6 pack too, right? So by the time you trickle all this down, you have just a small chance of meeting somebody. Very small chance of meeting somebody. You might not meet this person. And that is why you need to always look at the board and say, what do I want to achieve? How is it going to go by the time I achieve it?
Mm-hmm.
And I get what I want. Do I need to start maybe looking now instead of
Mm-hmm.
later? You need to always look at the board. Don't go straight into, I want all the degrees in the world. And don't go straight into, I want to get married first and just have all my kids. No, don't do that either.
Mm.
Always look at the board and look at what you want for your life. How does it balance and how does it fit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
don't
think.
close your eyes to one section.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Exactly.
you're not
Don't close
focusing on
one
your
section.
books, and then every man that come, you're like, no, I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm, I'm studying.
I'm busy
I'm
studying.
looking to get this, and then by the time you got all the degrees, then no one is around because you didn't give anybody time. So
Exactly.
just leave your options open.
Yeah, I was gonna say the simplest way I can put that is basically just being reasonable about your expectations and your requests, because it's
Mm-hmm.
likely you might not get. That's why I said that some of these people that some people are looking to be married to, they might have to recreate. They have to create it themselves, and then bring them to earth. Yes, for them to be able to find them, because some of them it just doesn't make sense. You know,
Yeah.
you might find someone that is the 6'4" or whatever you're looking for, but they might not necessarily have the degrees, and or they might not be making the money.
Make the six
Have
figures.
someone who is
Mm-hmm.
making that 6 figures and not be the 6'4" that you're looking for, and so I think that you want to be reasonable, and then there has to be a balance as well. A young lady has a comment. It says that my question to your guest: is it really wrong as a woman to really have standards? I don't think it's wrong to have standards. If you don't meet my expectation, I'm just not going to accept you. But it seems like people these days want you to just take whatever you get and not complain. Meanwhile, that is not really what you're desiring. I feel like the moment I do that, then that's me settling. Mensa.
It depends on the standards. It's not wrong to have standards, but is it wrong to want to have the highest in everything? Yeah, not wrong in itself, but more than likely you won't find that.
You'll find it, yeah.
So it's not wrong to have standards, and like I said earlier, right? What you are looking for that makes you think you are settling, is because you think what you are is also what the man you are looking for is looking for. And the man is not looking for that. Because if a man is able to, take care of his home and do whatever he has to do for his family, he doesn't necessarily care about how much degrees you have and all that. So to you, you think you are settling, but really you might not, because the man that you are with, he doesn't care about all that degrees and all that stuff. So more than likely you're on
Mhm.
the playing field,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes if your standards are too high, yes, there's nothing wrong in having it. Everybody got a choice. So you do certainly have a choice. But if you have to go back to the board and decide, are these standards too high? Where can I compromise? Where can I make some adjustment?
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier, if you are looking for a man that is educated, can speak good English, at the same time make six figures, at the same time 6 foot tall, at the same time six pack, at the same time must be dark skinned, at the same time must be from Ghana. Yeah, you might be looking for too much, because
Mhm.
yeah, it's
The-
your
She
standard,
shouldn't, she
but
shouldn't go to the Ashanti, because if you're looking for the English, we're gonna be missing our L's and R's. Yeah,
And they're not 6 foot.
and that's what.
you get what I mean. So you go back to the board and look at your standards. You have every right to your standards,
Yeah.
but look at the board and decide, is it too high? Where can I compromise and make it work?
Yeah.
Mm,
Where can I make some adjustment in order to meet somebody?
yeah.
Because you can have the standards, but with the standards you have, you will meet nobody. Because
Yeah.
I can promise you, most of these men that are walking around, they all wanted to marry somebody like Alicia Keys, didn't they?
Mm, mm-hmm.
But then they looked around and said, nah, I don't think I can find somebody that is this rich, that is this beautiful, that is this height, that is this skin color, that is this body type. And so they come to realize, I need to make some adjustments somewhere and then find what fits in my standard that is still working for me. Because if you are looking for another Alicia Keys, you probably might not find anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same thing for the ladies. Look at your standards. Where can you make adjustments? And look at it that way.
Thank you so much. I have a comment here, but I got a text message first before this. Let me just read it. It says that, so lady, I have a question. I think women sometimes have a problem because I will use myself as an example. I don't have all these degrees that you people are talking about, but I sure did do work hard, excuse me, and I take care of the women if I do come across. But I dated a woman I did everything for. In fact, I supported herself and the family. And once she graduated from school, she saw that I wasn't fit for her. This is happening quite a lot, and it's unfortunate. So, for those of us that don't have the educational background or qualification, but yet can take good care of women, well, you can speak, this is very good English for not, but yet can take care of the women and are hardworking. Where do we stand? That's a question.
Wow.
He has a very
Well,
good point, though.
Mhm.
He has a good point.
okay. So I would say I think that ties back into having standard. Okay. That ties back into it because now the lady feels like um you are not her standard, like you're not on her list, right?
So
But
before you finish, Nana, can we just say that it's my opinion? Please don't go paying anybody's child or son's school fees. I'm so sorry to say this. Please
don't.
don't go paying. Don't go pay anybody's, because this is crap. But go ahead, Nana.
You shouldn't be. We need to, unless you are like you're engaged, you're married to this person and you're supporting them. Those girlfriend and boyfriend, I am putting them through school and this type of, you have to stop that. Okay. Because that's how a lot of y'all are, you know, being upset because you've put this person through school, you've done all this for them, and now they don't want to marry you. Why did you put them through school? They were not your child to begin with, So those things we have to cut it. We have to cut it. Let the parents take care of their children, right? If you're going to seek somebody's hand in marriage and they say that we're not going to let you marry this person until you put them to school, you put them through school, go your way. find somebody else. It's okay. It's not bad to have standard. It's essential, I would say, as a woman to know what you want in a man. But one thing that I can say is the superficial stuff will fade. Looks will fade. The six pack will become one pack. Okay. The hair that you the hair that you like my husband will say, Jesus will be their barber soon. Okay. It will go. They will be bald. Those superficial items, it's not really that important. What I can tell you that what you like at the age of 18 is not going to be what you like at the age of 30. Okay. You see this person, you're like, oh, look at them. He's so hot. I'm attracted to them, this and that and that. At age 30, what you're going to be attracted to is if this person can actually hold a conversation, if this person can actually support you emotionally when you need them to support you, if this person can lead you, okay? The looks can be there, the outside can be there, but that's not going to attract you anymore when you are in a situation where you need a man's opinion. You need a man to be able to stand and to say, I'm supporting you. I'm doing this for you. I'm with you. I'm making this decision with you. That time you're not looking at their six pack. You're not looking at that 6 feet tall. So like when we are children, we behave as children. But no, from people that have experiences to say that the outside, it's not going to be that attractive to you anymore when it's time for you to make real life decisions.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to have standard. You can have your standard, but be mature about the things that life actually requires.
Yeah.
The things that you need in your life to have a successful, a peaceful life. 6 feet is not going to give you peace. It doesn't mean that there are people out there who are 6 feet that won't give you peace. But I'm saying just because somebody is this tall, just because somebody has this amount of money, just because somebody has like this physique, it's not going to be the thing that gives you peace. The thing that is going to give you peace is who the person is inside.
Yeah.
Inside. So the outside, we need to stop with all the outside stuff and focus on getting to know the people for who they are when you are in a tough situation and you need somebody to support you. You need somebody to come through for you. That's what's important.
Sure thing. Mensa, do you want to chime in? Well, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I want us to take a quick commercial break, like 1 minute break. And then we'll come back. But when we come back, there are 2 questions I want us to touch on. And then if you want to add on to what Nanaya said, it's perfectly fine. But we have 2 questions. We're going to address it before we jump off, if that's okay. We'll be right back.
Your life, your wahala, your breakthrough, idea. Welcome to the chat room.
This no be ordinary place. Now a solution they show face. Lady Mary, they lead the way. With guess where go blow your brain. Talk your matter, make we solve them. No judgment, just love and wisdom. We they discuss, we they learn. Every episode you gon' feel the burn. The chat room. Now here we define the way. The chat room.
Oh yes.
We go talk and clear, no delay. It's interactive, educative, informative, and unapologetic. The chat room. We unstoppable, no be lie. You.
It's interactive, it's educative, and informative. Back, Mensa, did you want to touch on the gentleman that says that The lady left him because she now feels that she is the boss lady.
Yeah, I think so. One of the mistakes that I think we make is that we try to be husbands when we are not husbands yet, or we try to be wives when we are not wives yet. I
Hmm.
think you can show the potential to be the husband and you can show that potential to be the wife, so that at least the person knows that, hey, this person can do this or this person can be that, but not go all the way to be a husband. So you are not married to this person yet. I don't see why you pay that person's fees. It's not your responsibility. And it's the same thing for the ladies too. I think ladies, I've had or seen instances or heard instances even on TikTok that people would say, well, I have to always go, clean, wash, cook. I'm like, okay, you can do it sometimes to show that yes, you are capable of doing these type of things, but you shouldn't go all the way to do all that. That's not your husband. It's not your responsibility to wash his clothes for him all the time. That's not your husband. So I don't see the point in doing that, and I won't advise anybody to do that. I won't advise my son to do that, and I won't advise my daughter to do that.
Thank you so much. I have a question. I just sh- pinned it down. It says, "Can a relationship survive without physical intimacy?" Kindly help.
I think there's an exception to
Physical
everything.
intimacy,
Uh-huh.
like sex.
I guess, yeah.
I'm guessing they are referring to being physically attracted to them.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, can you, if you're still
that is
watching
what
us,
my
can
guess
you
is.
can you re
yeah. Let him clarify.
clarify? Are you talking about sexual intimacy, or you mean maybe finding yourself in the room with her alone and touching each other, killing and feeling things, or what
Relationships
type
survive
of?
without physical intimacy.
But I'm thinking he's probably referring to sex though. But whichever way, we can. You can. Do you want to touch on in general?
We can,
Well,
yeah.
for both, personally, I think there are exceptions to everything. So people would say, I've seen, yeah, you probably have seen it somewhere. But I don't think either being sex or physical, attraction, I don't think it will survive both.
Mhm.
If you are not physically attracted to the person,
Yeah.
eventually you might grow tired of them. And if you are not having, sexual intercourse with this person, same thing. Eventually, you will want to go somewhere and get it. There
Mm-hmm.
is a difference in growing old and getting to that age where you just cannot do it.
Yeah.
If I don't have no tooth to brush my teeth, I don't have a problem with that. But if I do have a teeth and I can chew meat and everything, you can't tell me I can chew that. Like it won't work. So personally, I don't think it will survive.
Hmm.
And that is minus the exceptions. There are people that can probably do it, but I think if you pick 100 couples,
Hmm.
maybe just five can survive that.
I, Nana, if you want to come in, but before then, this is how I take it. Mensah made a point, and I think it's really important that he said most men know if they're going to be married to you or not. Am I? Is that what that was the comment, right?
Very
Yes,
early on. Very
yes.
early on. Yes.
Or if a man is dating you, or maybe if a man sees you, they know how far they want to take you through. They know whether they're just going to date you for a month, 2 weeks. They know if they want to bring you home and make you their wife. They know it. And so, with that being said, are you saying physical intimacy, whilst you're doing this physical intimacy, if it's sex, where is your head at? Is this a woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with, or you just want that physical intimacy because you want to satisfy a desire, or you have her in a good place? Am I making sense? Because you can have these things with a woman just for having sake, but you know deep within you that you're going to do this with her, whatever it is that you meant, and you are not going to stay with her in the long run. If you know, you know. So how I see this is, if you know that your mindset for her is not that you will take her anywhere, then please do not waste her time or don't abuse her. I don't know if I'm making any sense. If you know
Yes, you are.
the process is not right for her, please don't
Mhm.
abuse. That's
Yeah,
just what I want to say. Nana, go ahead.
yeah. Um, yeah, like Mensa said, I don't think that a relationship can survive without physical intimacy, because why are you together? Just for companionship? Because that's a big part of a relationship. Physical intimacy is a big part of the relationship. But also, physical intimacy don't just start on the outside, right? It starts here in your mind. Like I said, if you can look at somebody, and when you look at them for so long, that physical appearance that used to attract you may not attract you anymore. So then you will need something else to stimulate that intimacy, right? And sometimes it can be just being able to have a conversation. Sometimes it can be, through just words of affirmation. You know, there's different ways of getting you to that intimate level, if that's what this person is referring to when it comes to like being physical. Okay. When it comes to attraction, also, again, attraction is not just physical, it's part of it. Yeah, you have to be, this person has to be um, outwardly attractive to you for you to be able to connect in the first place. If some people, when they say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, it's really true, because what may attract you is not what's going to attract me, or it may not be what's going to attract me, right? So you might have your husband, and I may look at him and be like, I won't really go for that, but I'm not you. I'm not you. So, yes, you need to be attracted to the person. But again, it goes beyond just the outside, because outside will fade. You may marry someone that may have a pot belly, right? But you want them to have a six pack. Is that something that you can change? Yes, that's something that can be changed. So let's not focus so much on the outward appearance. It's important, but that's not the ultimate. That's not the ultimate. The ultimate is this person good to you? Is this person supportive? Is this person a good person in general? That's what we have to pay attention to.
Okay, thank you so much. Nanaya, a question for you. It says that per the standards mentioned by Mensa, should one reject or pursue with care when one comes across such a man?
Hmm? Question for the night. Per the standards mentioned by Manson, should one person reject or pursue with care when one comes across with a man?
Across such a man.
What was the type of a man that Manson was referring to?
Mensa was talking about the different standards, that people may have. Do you remember?
That we should not focus so much on one thing.
No, he talked about the standards, the type of standards that people may have.
Okay, like, if this person is tall, if this person,
Hmm.
you may want this, you may want this, you may
Five
want this.
years and all of that. I
So they
believe that's
mean,
what you're referring to.
okay, so per the standard Manson mentioned, should one reject or pursue
With care.
with care when we come across? Don't reject anyone based on their outside. That's what I'm saying, that it takes more. Like, you don't just meet someone today and you're like, because of how they look outside, I want them or I do not want them, right? Give them a chance. Give a chance, because guess what? They may be the exact person that you are looking for, but just because in the moment, the outside may not
Oh,
be. What happened?
he said the six packs and etc., etc., five figures, good stature, 6'4".
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad. We're not saying reject people who look good. That's not what we're
Yeah, but
saying.
somebody just accepted a young lady and took her through school, and she just ditched him like nobody's business. But go ahead,
But
Nana.
why you? That's. But we've said that though. We've said do
I
not
know,
take
but
care
I'm
of
just
somebody that's
I
not
know I get it,
yours.
but you're saying that don't reject anybody. So maybe before, when he's from the beginning, there was something that he may have seen which made him to go for her.
Those things are usually okay. Those things. Remember when we were talking about before, when we were talking about infatuation and love, we said that sometimes you meet people and the first thing you do is you're attracted by infatuation because of like an outward appearance or because of what the person may have, right? So that thing attracts you. So let's say this woman that you decide to take, he decided to put through school. I'm sure that they found something about them that attracted them, and they felt that this is the woman I want to marry, right? And then did all that just to find out that you were not really what that person wanted, right? But let's say if you had taken the time and not rushed to pay all that, or I wouldn't even say rush because maybe it took time. Take the time and let this person go to their school, finish their school, right? Without you like putting all that investment in them, and you just let them be while you're getting to know them, right? And then they got to the point where they felt like you were not for them. You wouldn't have been so hurt because you've invested all this money. Would you be hurt? Yes, you'd be hurt, but at least you would have your money to to comfort you a little bit. You know, you have the money to comfort, but now you've lost money and you've lost her.
Do you
You
know what
know,
happened?
so it's good to have standards, like Mensa was saying, right? Do not reject someone because of their appearance, but don't let that be the only thing that deter you away from pursuing a relationship, or don't let that be the only thing that attracts you to pursue a relationship. Have a balance. Have a balance. Get to know the person. If they're attractive on the outside, good. Get to know their mind. Get to know the person that they are. If they may not be so fortunate on the outside, it's okay. Get to know their mind. Get to know who they are, because you may find that even though they might not be so fortunate on the outside, in the how
You have a good head on their
like
shoulders.
the Mark Zuckerberg and the Elon Musk and those people, I bet you when they were like in high school and those things, they didn't have a lot of girlfriends. They did not. But Elon Musk have like 13 children
Hmm.
with women that if he's standing next to them right now, you'll be, without knowing how rich he is, you'll be like, how did that happen? How did he get that woman? You know what I mean? So don't don't rush to judge anybody by their appearance.
Hmm.
Do not.
Yeah.
Okay, take your time in pursuing relationships. You have to take your time. You have to take your time to get to know people.
Hmm.
Now, I
How
hope
about,
that answered
yeah, I'm
the
sure it did.
question.
How about when you are in the stage of dating relationship wise, how about everybody just take care of themselves? I mean, let the man take care of himself. Let the woman take care of herself. I mean, once a while, if you want to buy a card or a rose, so that nobody end up being so hurt. Because that's one thing that's really happening these days, where people are committing, you know, wanting to take their lives, and people are so hurt, and people want to end their life. I just don't want to use the word so that they don't end up ending our lives. But things are happening. Lives are being taken because this person broke my heart and all that. How about you just, if you're a woman and take care of yourself, go to school, do the work all you want. If whatever you need, buy for yourself. If you're a man, whatever you need, buy for yourself. When it's time for us to come together and be married, we'll come together, get married. Then at that point, we take care of each other, because I just don't know how else to say it. Because there's always
Just
that.
don't take the responsibility to be somebody's father or somebody's mother.
So that's what I'm saying.
You
Limit it to just going out. Okay, once a while, I'll dash you this here and there. But yes, to her point, don't you're not their parents. And so, one second, there's a comment for you, Mensa. Do you want to come in before
Oh
we
no, go ahead.
you? Okay, Nana says, hey, uh, okay, I'll let Mensa answer it since he's the man, and it's a man that's answering asking the question. Excuse me.
how
So
can
it's
you
not
be
really
knowing her without taking care of her? What?
Taking care of her in terms of what? Like how? Like what?
I'm guessing financially, because I think that comment popped
Oh,
when you were talking about um, everybody taking care of themselves. No, no, Dave. I don't know if it is Dave or Dave. Um,
I like that. She will slip out of your fingers, right?
And
yeah,
go to
so
somebody else that's taking care. But even if you take care of her, she will slip. She may slip out of your fingers. Ask this guy
yeah,
that posted this question.
if she's gonna slip out of your fingers because you are not financially taking care of her, it
Then she's
wasn't
not
yours
worth
to
it.
begin with.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're only keeping her because of the money.
Hmm.
Without it, she's not there. No, I think when you're dating, excuse me, you only getting to know people. It's like a dress rehearsal for your marriage. You're just trying to figure out if this person can be the wife you want them to be.
Hmm.
This is not your responsibility. You are not their dad, right? You're not their dad. So you're not supposed to come in and all of a sudden now you are responsible for their whole life. No, they are their own person without you. If you weren't there, they would have dealt with it. Don't take on that responsibility yet. That's not your wife. You are dating. Like Nana said, in the process, you can once in a while say, hey, I got you this gift. Hey, I want you to keep this money on you. Hey, I want you to hold on to that. That's different. But don't wake up like some ladies in Ghana now require that every day you give them some sort of allowance per day or per week or per month, whatever the
Oh,
case is.
Uh-uh.
You are not like they are not your responsibility. You're not their dad.
They're not ready, Mensa.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. And if you feel like whoever it is that you're taking care of, you're gonna lose her if you stop doing that,
It's not worth
then
it.
you're only keeping her because of the money. It's not worth it.
It's not
you're
gonna
gonna
end
lose her
well.
anyway.
Yeah, you're
If
not gonna
somebody else come with more money, you're gonna lose her.
Yeah, she wasn't genuine to begin with, anyway. Yeah, but to your point, Mensa, there are those who have boyfriends for cell phones, shoes, clothes, panties, and all of that stuff. Go get a job and get those things for yourself. That somebody's son or daughter is not responsible for that.
yeah.
Get a job and take care of yourself. There's a question for you, Mensa.
Said, is it good to date a man as he is or change him to suit your preference? You can't change nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think you can change anybody unless they are willing to change. So if you don't like what you see now, and if you don't think if this person doesn't change, I'm still okay with it. Don't go ahead. Don't go ahead thinking I'm going to change anybody. Don't do it. You
Mm-mm,
can't change them.
mm-mm. Nope,
Yeah, you
nope.
can only change a person that is willing to change. So
Mm,
don't attempt, oh, I'm going to change this person. No, it
yeah.
will work.
Yeah. I think one thing that we forget about relationship is that we go in there trying to work with each other. I'm not saying change, you know, there has to be a wiggle room because you're not going to have it 100%, so you must be willing and be intentional to want to, you would have to want this, and that would determine how bad you work on it, or you work towards it for it to become yours. Okay, you to tailor it to your desire. There's no 100% anywhere, but I'll read comments and then we'll end our session. Iman Sabi says that, are we still talking about this generation or the other one? And then thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Nanaya, you want to read that for me?
Oh Lord, it's very tiny on my end. I will try my best. Hold on. I will try my best. When a man decides to pay for his partner's tuition. It's often a thoughtful decision influenced by various factors. People in committed relationships often discuss and plan their future together, supporting each other's goals. Paying for tuition is a way for some men to help their partners achieve stability and security with the expectation of building a life together. But it doesn't always go as planned. But sometimes, but
Mm,
sometimes too, it works very well.
yeah,
Well, it's good to know your partner.
yeah, yeah.
It's good to know your partner.
I think you
So
you
if you trust that, this person is reliable enough for you to spend all that money on, so then I'll ask this person. So if that's the case, why don't you just go ahead and get married? Why don't you get married? Because, they can still go to school after you're married.
yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, I think he was just making a general question. I mean, general comment as to when we said that don't pay
Hmm.
tuition. I personally would not encourage anybody to go pay tuition. I mean, if you don't want to be broken,
No,
but then if you know the person very well, people change. People change, and this is what Dave said. It says, but people adjust habits. Though. But
that part,
yeah,
that part.
yeah. Anyways, well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I like the fact that the comments kept coming, and without you, we wouldn't have had a show tonight. Mensa, thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna have him come back again. We're gonna talk about marriage. He's a married man. We're gonna talk about marriage, how balancing. All of us here are married with kids, but want to be able to talk about how we can. How does it work? It's not easy balancing work, life, married, family, and all of that with children. So we'll have that conversation one of these days. But thank you so much for coming. I want you to give us your social media handles one more time before you go.
Oh, you mean me? Sorry.
Yes, Mensa, you. But did you have any other things to say or to add? Conclusion?
Um, no, no. I think I'm good. Yeah. The handles. So my TikTok is Mensa with a 3 M 3 NSA, and there's like apostrophe. So there's no H, but like an apostrophe. M3NSA apostrophe. And then YouTube is KJ.Mensa, just like it was a few minutes ago. KJ.MENSAH. But yeah, those are my handles. And I have just YouTube and TikTok. And then Instagram, which is also KJ.Mensa.
Thank you so much. Nanaya, any last minute thoughts before we end?
One thing I wanted to say, I wanted to speak directly to my Christian sisters out there, because the church is where a lot of over 30 desired, praying to get married, but not happening sisters are, right? That's where they are. Listen up. It's good to pray. It's good to read your Bible. It's good to be sanctified. It's good to be in the church. I
Mensa,
love Jesus. I love God.
she's
But
she's
please,
she's, she's going. She's entering into the spirit realm. So let her allow her. Nana, go ahead.
but please listen up. Go out. Go out. The people that you're looking for are not in the church. If they were, you would have been married by now, my sister. They're not there. Like our brother said, straight from the man's mouth. The person that you're looking for is not where you are. It's not wrong. God is not against you going out. Okay? Faith, faith requires action.
Hmm.
If you're sitting in that one place in
I
the
told
pew
you.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you'll be old and you still be in that place and you meet your maker and it will not be his fault.
I'm grabbing my Bible, Nana. Give me.
It will, it will not be his fault. Listen, it's not going to happen where you are. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Okay?
Yeah.
Go out, mingle, have a social life. It's okay. I promise you're not going to go to hell for that. Okay? Go out and you may meet someone that's probably going to a different church. That has been looking for you, but you've been hiding in that corner in the church. Go out. It's okay. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all so much. Nana, thank you. Thank you, Mensa. Thank you so much for coming.
You are welcome.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We are so glad that you joined us. This is where we end tonight's session. We'll see you next coming Sunday. Next week, Sunday, we'll see you all back again in the chat room. Thank you.
Yo, yo, yo. Now your matter when you talk. Your life, your wahala, your breakthrough, idea. Welcome to the chat room.
This no be ordinary place. Now a solution they show face. Lady Mary they lead the way. With guess where go blow your brain. Talk your matter make we solve them. No judgment, just love and wisdom. We they discuss, we they learn. Every episode you go feel the burn. Oh, the chat room. Now here we define the way. Oh, the chat room.
Oh, yes.
We go talk and clear, no delay. No delay. Oh, it's interactive, educative, informative, and unapologetic. Oh, the chat room.